Okay guys, so today you're going to see how America builds our empire, how we become a world power. And it's going to start off with our foreign policy. Now the word foreign is going to mean other countries. So policy is how we deal with other countries and the relationships we have with them. Now it refers to a country's policies, again, towards other countries. It can include international anarchy, the balance of power, the control of U.S. foreign policy, and national interests. All of these four things are going to go hand in hand with our foreign policy. Now, the Spanish-American War. In 1898, it begins. It's 1890, and Spain reduced the empires to Cuba, the Philippines, Puerto Rico, and a few smaller islands. Now, this is Spain, a European country. And again, their power is becoming very limited. Okay, and again, it's reduced to these small countries. It says in 1894, the United States raised tariffs or taxes on foreign policy, and it leads to a lot of unemployment. The Cuban Revolution, led by Jose Marti, which is this guy right here. Okay, the Spanish army contained rebels in villages, right? And now the United States is going to intervene. Now we have something known as yellow journalism, and it's just an exaggeration of information. It says the treatment of Cubans by Spain raised humanitarian concerns, right? So the reporters in the United States were reporting on this, and we began to worry. Now newspapers, you have Joseph Pulitzer in New York World and William Random Hearst with the New York Journal. And again, this technique, yellow journalism, was the exaggeration of the news to sell more newspapers, right? To kind of get more people to buy into it. So they made it a little bit more interesting. Example of yellow journalism, Abraham Lincoln was a woman. Of course, we know that's not true, but of course people are going to want to see or read about how he was a woman, okay? Now, a couple of triggering events of the Spanish-American War. In 1898, the Delome letter was sent out, and here is when the Spanish ambassador called President McKinley weak, right? So it's gonna anger a lot of Americans. The USS Maine mysteriously explodes, and it kills 258 people, right? It mysteriously explodes in Havana Harbor, and now the United States really wants to be involved. Okay, that's the USS Maine. It sets off protests in the United States. And now we have war. We fought on two fronts, and the United States sailed to the Philippines, and we won in Manila Bay. Again, Spain had different territories, so we had to kind of fight at almost each of their territories. The Assistant Secretary to the Navy, Theodore Roosevelt, creates a volunteer cavalry, and they are called the Rough Riders. Okay, volunteer cavalry. This is before he became president. He fought in the Spanish-American War. They ride up San Juan Hill, and we end up winning the war, right? Defeated the Spanish at San Juan Hill. And here you can see Teddy Roosevelt. He actually went to San Antonio to recruit most of these men, right? It's pretty cool. And the United States takes control of all of its territories. Now the territories that we take control of are going to be the Philippines, we're going to take over Guam, we're going to take over Cuba and Puerto Rico. Okay, so it says Spanish-American War in the Philippines and Caribbean. This is how the war was actually fought. So anything in blue is the United States, anything in red right here is the Spanish forces. And what we did is we blocked them off all the way around the island, so that way Spain couldn't come in, because Spain was on this side of the world, way over here. So for them to come in was through this part right here. And again, there was a major battle in San Juan Hill, right? Major battle. And then over here in the Philippines, which is on the other side of the world, we end up fighting at Manila Bay right here. Okay. Now the turning point. It ends Spain's colonial empire. So now Spain no longer has power throughout the world, and the United States kind of takes over all of that power. The United States begins as a world power, and now we have our ability to show our naval strength, right? The Navy. In our next video, we're going to go over how the Navy expands and how we start to take over more and more parts of the world.